what do we know about a channel? Okay, how do I trade a channel? Well, first of all, in my opinion, the best way to trade a channel, right, if that's your channel, okay, is to find a swing high, for example, right there. And then what I'm going to do is, if price was to break out of that channel, I'm going to sell it first. If it breaks above it, I'll then buy a pullback. Keeping in mind, there may be additional swing highs over here, right, that are excellent places for profit targets. So I'll buy the pullback above that swing high, use that previous swing high, right, in this case, a bear channel, as a target. And that is exactly what we did right there on that chart. Let me zoom in real quickly for you guys, and you can see here, price action had dropped, came down, and now here we are, right, at the high of that bear channel. So I'm thinking if this dollar drops, I'm going to have to find a way to safely, without too much risk on this thing, buy the high of this channel. Doesn't sound like a very high percentage trade to me. In fact, I've seen too many times where I've tried to buy the highs of the channel and it stopped me out. So what do? Find out where the channel gets broken. How do I do that? 1, 2, 3. There are 3 swing highs right there. There's 1 right there, 2 right there, and 3 right there. So we knew we had some overhead resistance. If I could clear that, hey, then I'm off for the races. So what do? We said, well, we know we're going to break out of this channel, thus putting me in a spot where I can be buying long if I break above that line right there, that line right there, and that line right there. Okay? So, ultimately, we planned our attack and said, I'm going to be trading long if I get above 19.3. I also specified by saying I will take profit up to that 25 and then get long again above the next level of resistance, with the target, of course, being the previous low of day, and this, of course, being a trend line, right? That being a trend line right there as resistance. So, my morning prep, my slower time frame, which we just took a look at, it gave me a chance to be a buyer. It said being a buyer would be the higher percentage trade. Then, needing to find the exact location for that trade, I then found a bear channel, a couple swing highs right here on my 34 range chart, and all we needed now was to get above those swing highs and take it long up to that previous low of day. And ultimately at 9:30, this is exactly what happened. So we begin our day today, and now I'll show you what the actual trading patterns look like. So now fast forward one more time frame. Remember, we began on the 89, down to the 34. Now we know where exactly I want to be a buyer. And now my next chart, here's my 13. So it's difficult to feel confident taking that wave pattern until we get, of course, up above that 19.3, and then I'm off for the races. So I planned my attack. Now it's time for me to trade that plan. So we begin at 9:30 at the open. I'm not going to trade through 9:30 at the open. We chop around the open. We go right up. Again, a wave pattern long, higher risk at overhead resistance. I'm not going to go forcing that trade. By now, my mind knows it makes no sense not to take a high risk trade, because if I simply follow my plan, I always make money. So of course, we chop around here through 10 o'clock news. 10 o'clock news came out, and what do we get? It was bullish for the dollar, which was surprising. We saw rising prices, but we didn't care at the time. We saw price jump up, make a new higher high. Now we're in a position to buy.